So we got lucky again, and all these corners are in place. So I'm going to do the algorithm to put one out of place so I can show you the algorithm and how to use it. Okay, here we go. So this, you'll have two cases when you, you need to solve this bottom layer first, this inside bottom layer, and then you'll have two cases. You want to solve the corners first on this. You'll have two cases. Either two will be in place, like here we have two in place because they're both orange facing on the same face, or you'll have none in place, or you'll have all in place, but that'll be pretty rare. So if you have two in place, put them on your left side. If these two edges are swapped, put them to the left and just keep turning that on your right side. So this algorithm might seem a little bit long, but it's actually really easy. So what you do is you do the slot corner algorithm, the R2U, R2U prime, R2, and then you do U prime, D, and then you do the slot corner algorithm in reverse. R2U prime, R2U, R2. And then you just do the U and the D prime. Then you try to match them up, and that will put all of them in place. If there's no corners in place, just mess around with the algorithm. So now, there are two algorithms for this. If you know PLL, then there's a PLL that will do the switching the edges if it's in a certain case, but we won't go to that. There's normally two algorithms, but I like to just use one. I find it easier, and you might as well. It's the adjacent edge swap. There's actually when they're across, there's an across edge swap and an adjacent, but I just like to use the adjacent. I just find it easier. So you want to find two that need to be switched. These two need to be switched because green needs to go here, and you need to get blue over to the opposite side eventually, so you're going to want to move that to there so you can adjacently swap that. So hold the two in the front and the right. Remember, if these two edges are still switched, you got to keep that in your right hand. Very important. And then you do this. It's really easy to remember. R2U, R2U, R2U2, R2U2, and then you do the slot corners. So you do R2U, R2, U prime, R2. And that'll swap these again, the edges if they're not already swapped. And if they are, it'll swap them back. So now we have two more that need to be switched. Do that algorithm again. R2U, R2U, R2U2, R2U2, R2U, R2U prime, R2. And then fix them up. So when you're done doing that, you will have a case that will happen 50% of the time. Parity. These two small layers are solved, but there is a parity error. So you there's an algorithm, okay. How to fix that is, you just want to turn it 45 degrees, take it apart. No, just kidding, but you put it in the front, and then you do U2, R2, F2, then you do a little U2, and then you do that in reverse. So you do F2, R2, U2, and then you just do another F2, and that'll fix it. Simple as that. Okay, now after this, it's pretty simple to solve the rest of the cube. You just use the exact same algorithms to do the top layer. First, though, you want to get your cross in the right color scheme, the right places. So if you already have white on the top, try to turn it so one or more gets in place. We already have two in place. Easy peasy. You just use the same side to turn it, though. So if you're lining it up like that, don't line it up like you would do on a normal first layer of a Rubik's Cube, because that'll give you some weird thing that you don't want. So you're just going to turn this little layer according to each one and then fill it in the correct color scheme. So it's going to go orange, blue, red, green. And if these get switched around, that's totally fine. Keep turning that right side. So once you have the cross and the correct color scheme, you would just want to fill in these edges, use the corners using the slot corners algorithm. Make sure they're in reverse colors, orange, blue, R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. But the only thing to note is this time you're only turning this layer on all the U moves and all the D moves. You're turning the little layer. So you want to keep turning that. Let's see if the red, there it is, R2, U, R2, U2, R2, U, R2, U prime, R2. And you just want to keep filling these in. Easy peasy, right? That layer's solved. These two out of place. Don't let that discourage you. Keep on moving. Two corners in place. Do the corners algorithm. R2U, R2U prime, R2, U prime, D, R2U prime, R2U, R2. And then turn it back. And, ooh, looky here. All we need this time are just two adjacent edges switched. Hold this in the right. R2U, R2U, R2, U2, R2, U2, R2U, R2, U prime, R2, and there you go, folks. You've officially gone through heck and got back out successfully. Just wait till you think this is heck. Wait till this comes along. 3x3x5 void cube. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a lot of fun with it. See you later.